But my overall impression is it sounds like Reddit University.
Yeah. I saw somebody call it Substack University.
Yeah.
Autism University. That was my favorite one.
Yeah. And the most autistic thing about it is like I went on the website, which made me feel visceral dread, actually. But yeah, it has this kind of like classical, as in like Aristotelian, like symposium kind of like it's like the Greeks.
Yeah.
And that's almost charming, but super duper gay. Yeah.
Yeah, it has like that kind of like ancient Greek column vibe.
Exactly, yeah.
What are they?
And they're going to have a symposium about like
Ionic?
autogenophilia or something.
Corinthian, yeah.
And in general, and I know it's presenting a bit more nuanced than this, but my hunch is that a lot of these like anti-woke kind of enterprises are like a little doomed. You know?
Oh, they're absolutely doomed. Yeah. Well, because they play by the premises.
Yeah, exactly.
Of like the whatever woke thing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, to quote Dan Allegretto, I thought reactionary just meant like reacting.
Yeah, that's what I thought for the longest time.
I still kind of think that. I don't really understand it.
Oh, you think I'm a reactionary? I guess I'm flattered. I like reacting to stuff.
But I guess I would describe this as reactionary in my limited understanding of the term, because it feels like it's constructing a bit of a straw man to prop up like a different model of a university system that doesn't actually seem all that radical or different.
Yeah, I'm with you, sister. And I think like I've seen a lot of critiques like these people are grifters and they're just doing what they usually do, which is stacking chips for themselves. But I actually think that their intentions are pure. They're just out of touch.
Yeah. I don't think they're grifting. I think they really do want to have some sort of
like impact. I don't think it's about the money.
No.
And I also, somebody else said this, I don't remember who, but I thought it was a really great point, that the point of a university is not really to offer an education. It's to confer status and prestige, but there's no way that Austin University is doing that. Because
well, maybe
for a very niche subset of people,
maybe for the new Ubermensch generation, of radical free thinkers or whatever, you can
radical
make the case,
centrists speaking truth to power.
You know, it could accrue potentially enough kind of like investment to be a semi-viable institution, in which I agree, and I think the university has been about networking for a long time, about ingratiating yourself with a certain class of people, at least in the humanities, you know.
Right.
You go to college to like meet people that will be hopefully rich and successful and like rise with the tide. And Austin University is sort of pretending that they're championing like an literally ancient like symposium
of radical ideas, heterodox thinkers.
But fundamentally, I think the sort of people who will be drawn to it will probably be craven social climbers looking to network with a particular sect that they're betting on becoming more successful.
I think they'll just be horny and passionate about ideas. Like all IDW
I think a lot of
are,
fellas are gonna be there for sure.
But I feel like the name itself is like an oxymoron, like Austin University. Like there's no knowledge or status to be gained in Austin.
No, definitely not. That's
like you know, as we said on the EP with Tim Dillon, Austin is a place that's refreshing to hyper competitive coastal elites because there's a ceiling.
Yeah.
And no ambition.
It's a mediocrity pact.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. So that doesn't bode so well for Austin U. It reminded me actually of a a couple weeks ago, I like took some Adderall to try and get some work done, and it kind of like hit different. And I went down this rabbit hole. Are you familiar with a term called dark academia?
No.
Dark academia is like a loose kind of TikTok, post Tumblr trend.
Okay.
It's an aesthetic, which is a term I see young people using to basically just kind of mean like mood boards and outfits.
Okay.
That's preoccupied with, like melancholy bookishness, university kind of like, it's a little like, there's some crossover with like Harry Potter.
Okay.
In that it's like this fetishizing of like boarding school and like, you know, kind of like mid-century outfits and like writing with a quill pen and like reading by candlelight and drinking
collegiate
tea.
wear.
Yeah, it's this like collegiate aesthetic trend that's popular on social media amongst Zoomers that made me really sad because it felt like, much like Austin U, it's like grasping for something that's in its like death throes.
Well, yeah, it's grasping.
Like they would,
for a sense of institutional legitimacy and authority that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, and prestige. Yeah.
I just picture like tweedy blazers with suede elbow patches and those
100%
sweaters. I really want one of those sweaters that's like cream cable knit with a navy blue V-neck.
I have one.
Where do you get one of those?
I got one on eBay. Here's a little life hack. I've told you this before, but on eBay you can image search. And I saw a Celine sweater that looked like that, but which was prohibitively expensive. Screenshotted it, searched it on eBay, and it like algorithmically will show you things that resemble it. And then
how much was the Celine sweater?
It was like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, you shouldn't pay that much for a sweater.
Yeah. So that's dark academia.
Yeah. Christmas is coming.
But I think I was
to Eli.
Listen up, Eli. But I was obviously drawn to dark academia in the first place because that basically is my aesthetic. I've been on like a Mona Lisa smile tip for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like you could pull off that aesthetic really well. Me, not so much, but
I have to like update kind of the schoolgirl thing because I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of going in a more like
school MILF.
Professorial. Yeah. Oxford.
Yeah. Maybe that's what your dream was about.
Going back to college to have a three-way.
Maturing as a woman. I thought when you said dark academia that it was like a Nick Land / Alexander Dugan type thing, but it's
kind of more like Oscar Wilde, Harry Potter,
Hogwarts.
LARP. It's the saddest LARP because it'll never exist again.
Can't be sadder than the University of Austin.
Yeah, this is taking dark academia to new heights.
Yeah. I mean, okay, like I feel like the fundamental issue though is like you can't establish a university like on the principle of free speech because like the establishment core principle has to be like pursuit of knowledge and truth, and free speech must flow from that because I feel like free speech guarantees the safe passage of ideas. And it guarantees not that they'll be accepted, but that they'll get their day in the sun to be vetted. So you can't organize an institution around free speech because then it becomes also like a discursive vessel to promote your ideology of choice.
Well,
which is really what happened anyway.
This is from an article in the New Republic that's sort of quoting the UATX literature. What makes Austin University different? 3 things: a commitment to freedom of inquiry, a new financial model, though it said that they wanted tuition to be less than 30 grand.
Hear us out. Tuition is 29 grand, not 69 grand.
It's a radical new model.
Yeah. And you don't get a degree.
And quote, innovative curriculum. Our students and faculty will confront the most vexing questions of human life and civil society, their site declares. We will create a community of conversation grounded in intellectual humility that respects the dignity of each individual and cultivates a passion for truth. We're told that in University of Austin's eventual in-person classroom, I do fuck with that. I do think it's good that they're not doing remote learning.
Yeah, that's cool.
That differentiates them from basic. If they were doing remote learning, they would just be kind of like one of those fake internet colleges.
Yeah, like a University of Phoenix type scam, yeah.
Every opinion will be heard and every opinion must be supported by evidence. Sounds like it's going to be a long symposium.
Yeah. It's like, I don't really associate Steven Pinker with intellectual humility, but go off.
I also think at the vast majority of colleges, cancel culture is not really that big of a deal.
I have no idea, but
that's my hunch. I think like, in the coastal schools, your new school, your NYU.
Yeah, the microclimates. I think like,
but like if you're going to like a state school, you're somewhere random.
I think the problem isn't the cancel culture. It's the stuff that led to the cancel culture, which is the erosion of educational standards and grade inflation and all the stuff that makes college even more and more like a vicious and satanic game of musical chairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is in their own words. It all begins this coming summer. We will offer a summer program for college students called Forbidden Courses that invites top students from other universities, blah, 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 blah. Spirited discussion, provocative questions. Already just like the words.
Go on Reddit, babe.
Like you don't want to lead with forbidden.
No.
Because you're condemning yourself.
Yeah.
If they, like they're so desperate
naughty,
to have
call it naughty summer school.
Naughty daddy. Daddy's little girl university. Kinder horror college. Montessori school for whores.
The Red Scare school for sluts. Welcome to your dick sucking class, bitch.
But like, look, I like Barry Weiss. I'll go on record as saying I like Barry Weiss as a person. I think she's a really nice and sweet person.
Caitlin Flanagan's attached as well.
Caitlin Flanagan, I love.
No offense.
I think as a critic and commentator, I will say it to her face, she can be out of touch. But as usual, kind of like the leftist critique of this sort of willfully misses the point that because it's equally out of touch. And like I saw a lot of people complaining that the IDW are fascists, which is hilarious and a joke. And a lot of people claiming that it would be a scam.
Fascist university.
Yeah. Racism university. Race science university. I would just teach a course that
you should teach a race science class at Austin U
that teaches students, it arms students with the tools to identify various ethnic groups by physiognomy and last name. But yeah, people were saying that it's like a scam in the vein of like the University of Phoenix or PragerU or Trump University, and that it's not accredited currently and it's not degree granting currently, which seems to defeat the whole purpose of having like a alternate.
I thought they already had one of these called European Graduate School. I mean,
you're just in it forever. That's actually hell on earth being a grad student.
European Graduate School is unaccredited, and Zizek teaches there and shit.
Oh wait, I thought you meant like European Graduate School in general. Like
no,
the European okay.
Graduate School.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's
kind
a lot
of doing a version. Except it is prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of critique also ignores that the official, legitimate, accredited higher education system, university system, is also a huge scam.
Yeah,
because you pay a lot for nothing, and you don't even get the networking opportunities anymore,
unless, I guess,
you're like one of the few. But really, there's so many people going to college that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If you're like at an Ivy, but honestly, I don't know. The future feels so precarious. It's like, what good is networking even for?
Right. like, you don't know.
You can't really bet on, you know, back in the day you went to Harvard.
Yeah.
You got some Harvard buddies. You guys, you know, made some
you
lifelong bonds.
Snagged a cushy job. You snagged a cushy mate.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
All that assortative mating was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I think like, but I guess, you know, but these are also the people who feel like, you know, student loan forgiveness is like a core socialist tenet or whatever, because they fundamentally like subscribe to this broken and rotten system of like empty credentialism or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was a good take from
And
Jeff.
I don't blame them. They thought they could have a life in it.
Sure, I guess.
I don't know.
I mean,
Academia used to be a more solvent avenue for people to pursue. And I would say in the last 10 years, it's become much, much, much increasingly less so.
Yeah. But Jeff Schellenberger had a good take about it. The left's reaction to the University of Austin makes it clear again that it largely has no objections to the actually existing university system, which is constitutively elitist and has fostered a culture of mindless credentialism, accelerated inequality, indebted generations, etc. I think he's right about that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And it's always funny, of course, when the IDW are like accused of being fascists or Nazis or whatever, because they're just like well-meaning, overeducated liberals, who think freedom of speech means conforming to their kind of worldview.
Yeah, it's selective.
Yeah. They're a kind of like universalist worldview or whatever. So I don't know. I think it'll probably be like a flash in the pan. Is that the correct expression?
Yes.
I also think nobody will remember it a year from now.
We'll see. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Well, their plan is to become accredited in some fashion by 2024.
Mm-hmm.
They're rolling out these sort of preliminary summer programs. Mm-hmm. And then by 2024, they plan to have like an undergraduate track. Mm-hmm. Maybe I will go. I'd love to be a freshman at college.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Never been kissed. I went to a women's college, so I never got to really have like a college experience. Maybe I'll enroll if they'll have me.
I'm sure they would.